Alright everyone, in this part we're going to model the holder for the sword. So we're going to go into our sword layer here and hit Shift S, make sure the cursor is in the center. Now we're going to Shift A, add a cube, bring this up, let me scale it down a little bit. So I've been coming up with an idea for how we're going to do the sword holder, and I'm thinking we can do something like this. So we can select these faces in here, select these faces in here, here as well, and then we delete these faces. And then I can scale that in on the y-axis. And voila. Okay, that's that. I like that, and I like the way that looks. So we're gonna stick with this, and we're going to do a few more things. So first thing we want to do is we want to bring this in the center. Control R, add an edge loop. Okay. And then we're gonna delete half of it, and then get the mirror modifier on the x-axis, check clipping, bring these in the center, on the x-axis, there we go. And so now I'm gonna add an edge loop in here just to bring that up, z-axis. And we're going to bevel that. There we go. There we go with that. So now what we need to do is need to select these two, hit V to rip that. And we're just going to move these up front here. We're going to E to extrude on the Z-axis. Add two edge loops in there. Bring these two up. So this is like kind of like a strap that the sword is being held in. And now we're going to take these faces here, going to inset them, W circle. I'm just going to rotate these like so. And then we're going to extrude that out, inset that, and then extrude it in. And we're going to crease these edges up. Oopsie daisy. There we go. And we're going to add a solidify modifier or a subdivision surface and then a solidify modifier. There we go. So now you see it has some nice thickness in there. Okay, so we have the basis of the sword holder. Now if we bring the character in, I would like to see, so we can move this back, and let's apply the mirror modifier. I'll scale this down, scale it down some more, let's rotate it, bring it on to the sword there. We could just move this like so. So I'm thinking I would like it more up here. And then we can scale that on the y-axis. Scale it on the y-axis some more. Just a little bit more. Okay. Alrighty. And actually, I'm going to S on the y-axis, -1. Just want it to flip it. Control N, fix those normals. I just want to move that back over here because I want these detail to kind of be right out here. Okay. Change that to smooth shading. And so we're going to bring back, we're going to make visible our background image again. Okay, so it has two loops, one here and one here. So what we are going to do for that is we're going to make a belt loop go around here, around his chest, and we'll make another one for around there. So what we can do is we can Shift D this, duplicate it so that it's 2. There we go. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to hit Shift D, duplicate those, bring them out a little bit. Go to Edge Select Mode, hit F to make those faces. And we're going to do a similar thing up here. Select these, Shift D to duplicate them, bring them out on the Y. Go to Edge Select Mode, hit F to make faces. And we'll just add a couple edge loops in there. We'll just add a couple edge loops in here. Go to Face Select Mode, select these faces. Inset those, W, Loop Tool, Circle. And we're just going to extrude this out. And then we're going to inset these faces. Same thing for over here. I to inset, W, Loop Tool, Circle. E to extrude, I to inset. Now we just have to crease these up. So let's add an edge loop in here, bevel it, add an edge loop in here, bevel that. There we go. And we got another, bevel that, bevel that. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place the cursor in the center there, hit period to change the object origin to be where the cursor is, and I just want to rotate this kind of this way, inward a little bit. Awesome. And now we just need to apply the location, rotation, and the scale for each of these. There we go. So now the origin's back in the center. I want to hit Control, comma, Shift S, cursor to center. And great. So we have the holder for time. Alright, so now we're going to make the strap that goes along here. So for that, we're going to take these here. I'm going to Shift D, bring it about on the Y axis. Just going to start extruding out pretty much around our character. And we'll fix the location of the belt strap if need be. So now that we have it here, one thing that'll help us is if we turn on this magnet button along with making sure that this is on face, closest, and turning on all of these, which will enable us to have our retopology tools so that we can better shape this to the character's torso. So let's delete that one. Let's just start turning right around here. Now we can get rid of these, or just turn them off rather. Just want to move this over a little bit. Select these and Control F or Control E, bridge edge loops. Add two, move them out like so. There we go. Okay, now, or it doesn't need to be attached to the back of the sword. It can be attached. There we go. That looks much better. So we're gonna bring this belt loop on the inside of the sword, or I guess the closer to the character's back, so that it's not looping over the sword, which I think might end up looking better in the long run anyway. And we'll add a few edge loops in here. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, I separated that, which is good because I had to do that anyway. I know it still looks like it's connected. I must have extruded it. Okay. We'll bring it out. We'll bring this out too. Bring this out. And I'm actually going to scale the size of that down a little bit. I didn't like how thick it was. And we'll get rid of this edge loop in the center here. Just for now. We might bring it back later. For now, I just want to focus on getting this finished. Okay. And this point here, we can bevel. Alright. Now let's bring this out. Like so. There we go. That's brought out. Let's add a couple edge loops in there, and let's bring this in. Sorry about that. Okay, coolio. We have that, and now all we have to do is make the loop that goes around here. Easiest way to do that is to make a circle, and we'll give it 16 loops. We'll either extrude it up, Control L, make sure that it's on smooth shading. And we'll scale this down, bring it up. There we go. And we'll scale this on the Z axis and hit Control N, flip those normals. There we go. Scale that down, there's Z, scale that up, bring that in like so. There we go, and we'll just do that, SY, SX, okay. Alright, there we go. So, now we're going to get our generic belt loop that we made in the other tutorial. And we're going to set this to smooth shading, and we'll hit Shift D to duplicate it, move it to the first layer, bring back all of this, scale this down, bring it out, scale it down, rotate it, rotate, bring it in, rotate it, bring that in like so. We're going to go back here, fix that up, there we go. So we're going to bring this right back here, and then we're going to separate this, and E to extrude it out, and then over. And then we'll rotate it down like so. And there we go. There we go. And then we can select this one here. Just move it up. And then what we want to do is bring this down a little bit, inset this face, and W loop tool circle, rotate it, and delete it. Then we're going to go to vertex mode, select that, scale it down, and move it over. There we go. And just want to move that up, and there we go. There we go, so that's one. Now I just need to do the same thing for this top one, so Shift D to duplicate that, rotate it around, take that, bring it in here, like so, move it. Alright. Now we're going to Control R here. Or better yet, we'll just move this back. Just move this back. V to separate it. Going to extrude that up. Extrude it down. Move this down with it. Control R to rotate that. And here we're just going to do that. Now we're going to go into face mode, inset W circle. We need to rotate that around, delete faces, go into edge select mode, just realign it a little bit and scale it down. Okay. So there is our belt and our belt loops and our connections with the sword. So we have that finished. And the next part, we're going to make his headband, and the part after that will make his hair.